Hi, and welcome back. Today is it. Today is the end of my self-imposed posting 7 videos in 7 days. And I did it. This is it. This is number 7. My name is Rose, and welcome to my channel, My Mid-60s Life. For the past several years, I have been wanting to start a YouTube channel. I don't know. I just think it's fun. I love watching other content creators. So I thought, well, maybe I have something to say. So for many years, I would randomly post videos of my dog, or I don't know, some meditation or journaling or things like that. And I would do one every few months, and then I thought, oh wow, nobody's watching. Well, yeah, because they were dull as dirt. A few months ago, I decided that I wanted to take this a little bit more seriously, so I did some deeper dive research into, well, what makes a channel work? And I thought, all right, well, let's give it a shot, because if I don't try now, I will never do it. There are 4 things that I learned this week, and I'm so happy that I did this challenge, because I learned more in 7 days than I probably would have learned in 2 months. Because if I had posted 1 video a week, which is kind of the norm, I think, it would have been too much time in between. So I really wouldn't have learned enough. There wasn't enough pressure. But one of the things that I did learn early on is use a mic. So I went out and I bought an inexpensive mic. I also bought an inexpensive tripod, which is what I'm using, and it connects to my phone magnetically, so that's awesome. It doesn't have one of those clam things that hold the phone and wind up hitting all kinds of buttons. Haven't graduated to a camera yet. Don't know if I ever will, but my iPhone seems to be working perfectly fine. I'm going to move my glasses because I keep hitting them and they make a lot of noise. The next thing was lighting. I also have a small ring light, and lighting is really important. I learned that if I'm recording, during the day is best, and especially in this room in my home where I have natural light coming in from here and I have the ring light coming in from here. So between the two, I think the lighting sort of worked. My very first video, I was very much in the dark on a number of things, but literally in the dark. I think I used iMovies to edit, which I don't recommend. It was great years ago, but for this purpose, it's really not that great. I use CapCut. I've been using CapCut to do stuff on Instagram, so it was great. It was an easy transition. For my basic needs, for the type of video content that I'm doing, CapCut's more than enough. This is not an endorsement for CapCut. I'm sure there are tons of wonderful programs out there, but for someone like me, who's kind of a novice at all this, CapCut seems to work pretty easily. The next thing is script or no script. I'm a talker. I've always been a talker. When I was a kid in 1st, 2nd grade, my mom would be called up to school on a weekly basis because Rose can't keep quiet. Rose likes to talk. So for me, using a script, I'd feel too robotic. So I like talking off the cuff. What I do is jot down some notes and some points that I want to get to. Says the 4 things I learned creating content this week. And the last thing is editing. I didn't really know anything about editing. I recorded my videos. I, fixed some of the audio, and I left what's called a lot of dead air. How do I know it was dead air? Well, I hired a young woman to help me with basic editing. The young woman happens to be my niece, who's a professional video editor, and she's really, really busy. So to entice her, I said, hey, I'll give you $50, sit with me for an hour and teach me just the basics. So she did. And one of the things she taught me was how to get rid of dead air. And what is dead air? Well, that was dead air. Dead air is the pause in between words or thoughts. And basically what happens is, we tend to, at least I tend to use a lot of filler words like and you drag it out. And what winds up happening is you have all this space of nothing really being said. So it kind of drags the content and gets nowhere pretty quickly. But she showed me how to fix the audio. She showed me how to get rid of dead air. She showed me how to split screens properly. She showed me how to use, how to zoom in on certain clips instead of the whole thing. I was using a completely different function and couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting what I wanted. But I'll tell you what, it was $50 well spent. I'll probably hire her again at some point to go in a little bit deeper on the editing. But for now, this was exactly what I needed. So my last video, I put to the test what she taught me, and it was a lot more smoother and a lot quicker. And I think I cut out 3 minutes of just a lot of ums and ahs and ands and just I don't know what's happening. Another thing I learned to do is add images. So I use Canva. I've used Canva for years because of my own business. I create a lot of Instagram posts for my real estate, all kinds of information. So Canva I was very, very versed in. So what I do now is I'll create an image on Canva and then drop it into my recording at appropriate points to make a visual of whatever it is I'm talking about. I like to keep a little humor in there, so maybe some of it is funny, but I've only done it once or twice. Still trying to get the hang of it, but I'm going to more interesting video content. So I think I learned a lot in the last 7 days. Back in, I don't know, a couple months ago when I was really looking into this, there's that procrastination, but really it was fear. And then I came across a content creator, and I wish I remember who it was. And the permission was there. And what this person said was, whatever you do, don't give your friends and family your link. Because they want to be helpful and they want to like your posts and they want to subscribe and they want to do all the great things that family and friends will do. Except what happens is the algorithm has no idea what to do with it, because typically, from my understanding, they will send the content to people who have shown similar interests. So if a friend of yours is deep into astronomy and space or UFOs, and another one is deep into baking or cooking, and someone else is very into politics or the environment or whatever you have. And here I am talking about life in my mid-60s. Where are they going with that? So I thought to myself, well, that's a very interesting take, because my first inclination is, oh, my friends will like my stuff. They'll subscribe if I ask them to. But it really defeats the purpose, because then you don't know what organic growth is. So I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. Well, I may have mentioned it to one friend, but I wouldn't give her the link. And I just said, whatever shows up on your feed, great. But this is the reason I'm not doing it. And she totally understood. And I thought, great. Now I can see what the organic growth is. And I also didn't view my own recording. And also I didn't view my own video, because that's another favorite thing to do, is like, oh, how's my video doing? I'm going to review my video. And then when I looked it up, I realized that every time you do that, it counts as a view. So I don't do that. And if I want to watch what I did, I'll look at it on my editing software to see where I could improve. But at the end of the day, whatever growth I have or have had in the last week is organic. And I can tell you, when I got my first view, I was so excited. And then when I got my first subscriber, oh my God, you would have thought I won the lottery. But it was so fun to see that, hey, something that I said is touching someone else enough that they are going to take the time to say, you know what, I'm going to subscribe. Maybe she's got more to say that I'm interested in. Another thing that I did was I watched a little bit of Mr. Beast, and I don't know if you know who he is. And if you don't, you should. He is probably, I believe he is the top YouTuber ever. And he had a couple of very interesting things to say. And one of the things was, your first 100 videos are going to absolutely be awful. He didn't use the word awful. He used a different word, but it's okay. I got the idea. So I'm in on 7. I've got 93 more awful videos to make. But the key to what he was saying about that is, every time you record a video, every time you edit a video, and every time you post a video, just make sure that you are doing something a little bit better than you did the last time. So this self-imposed challenge that I gave myself, 7 and 7, worked wonders, because if I had done one video a week, that would have taken me almost 2 months to learn what I did in the last week. And who's to say that with so much time going by, I wouldn't have really noticed anything? But I put so much pressure on myself to get 7 out that I thought, oh, well, this is interesting, because now I'm forced to look at what I'm doing and saying, oh, this would be a little bit better. When I got my first comment on my first video, actually, I think I got 2 comments, maybe 3. I'd have to look, but definitely 2. And they both said the same thing. Can't hear you. You need a mic. And I thought, oh, how embarrassing. But it says up there right in the left-hand corner, this is my first video ever. So they cut me slack. I was grateful for the comment. I did assure them that I did get a mic, but I think the real issue with that one was the editing software that I was using, and it was not very good at all. So you really couldn't hear me. But here we are. I have my mic, I have my light. I still have no script. I do have my notes, and I'm going to continue doing this. And and the content will start to be a little bit more specific to my topic. But I thought it was really important to talk about my experience this week posting my 7 videos. If you're remotely thinking about doing this, I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but when work is fun, it doesn't really feel like work, does it? So I am going to sign off now. I thank you very much for joining me on this little challenge that I had. I will see you in a next video. Now, whether I continue daily, I'm not sure. It's a lot of work. At the very least, once a week. And if things go the way I'm hoping, maybe twice a week. But here we are. I thank you. If you'd like to subscribe, I would love that. It helps my numbers. It helps me get out to more people. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't really ever have to look at another one of my videos. If you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to hear it. And if you'd like to hit a thumbs up button or the thumbs down button, that's okay. You can do. Engagement is engagement. But I'm looking forward to this journey. Here's to my next 97 plus videos. I do hope they get incrementally better so that at the end of this process, I will have a channel that I'm proud of and hopefully a community that I can connect with. Have a great day.